Imagine for a moment that our minds are like gardens. What would happen if we didn't take the time to tend to them? Would they flourish with beautiful ideas or become overgrown with confusion? Before we get even further, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges and my fellow critical thinkers, it'll be an honor to introduce myself. I am Putra Anggara from Indonesian Railway Polytechnic and I opted for a change. And you might speculate that the hand I raised it's on your left if you're watching me from this video. However, reality says otherwise. This is my right hand, which means it's in the right positions. It's just because your perspective that makes my right hand on your left. A simple analogy for this is when there's two people standing on opposite ends, looking at the same number. One person sees the number as 6, while the other one sees it as 9. Both are correct depending on where they are standing. That's where critical thinking comes in. Just like in education, everything is so biased. Experts have different bases for conducting research. And we as students are forced to follow those bases, those theories, those fundamentals. That's where critical thinking is born. As a student living in a digital world full of information, I realized that being able to think critically is a crucial skill we all need. In a life where we're always one for your page scroll away from distraction, critical thinking isn't just something we do for school. It's a key tool for facing the challenges of the 21st century and creating a sustainable future. However, when we look at how critical thinking is taught in classrooms, there's often a gap between what is said and what happens in practice. Many times, lessons on critical thinking become just another school task. Analyze this or write an essay. But critical thinking should be more than just homework. It's about how we use it in real life to sort through information and make good decisions, especially in this complicated world. For talented students, the challenge is even bigger. They are often taught to be good at critical thinking naturally. But is that really enough? Our education system needs to go beyond this assumption. We need a more flexible curriculum. And what I meant by flexible is focused, logical, engaging, expansive, inclusive, and learner-centered to help every student grow based on their strengths, just like playing music. Everyone has a different instrument. Some might be great at guitar, while others are better at piano. If we all had to play the same instrument, what would happen? The results wouldn't sound good. In the same way, education needs to adjust for each student to help them reach their potential. As students, we face a flood of information every day, and without critical thinking, we're like people who collect books but never read them. We need to not only understand information, but also judge how good and useful it is. In subjects like history, we should look at different views before we make conclusions. Critical thinking is not just about going along with what everyone else thinks. It's about digging deeper, and deeper, and thinking carefully about all sides. But this isn't just a challenge for us students. Teachers or professors also play a vital role. We need them to guide us not just by teaching facts, but also by helping us sharpen our critical thinking skills. So it's crucial for teachers to get the right training to effectively teach critical thinking in their classes so we can handle the tough challenges we face. The question is, are they really teaching us facts? Or are they just making assumptions based on their own opinions, their own beliefs? Once again, that's where critical thinking comes in. However, I won't say that learning to think critically is easy. It's hard. Why is critical thinking hard? It's easier to ask, when will I graduate, than to ask, is the information I'm learning really reliable? That's what makes it exciting. Critical thinking is a skill that takes time to develop, like a muscle that needs regular exercise to grow stronger. My fellow critical thinkers, in today's information age, we can see how important it is to think critically and question what we hear. Without critical thinking, we can easily get lost in a sea of unverified information and make poor choices. As modern students, we have a responsibility to make sure that critical thinking is a big part of who we are. We need to work on these skills, not just to be better students, but to become informed individuals capable of making smart, sustainable decisions. And this is where skepticism comes in. When I say skepticism, I don't mean we should doubt everything or be negative. I mean we should approach information with curious mind. Ask questions like, where is this information coming from? Is it biased? What's the evidence? This helps us separate fact from opinion and avoid being misled. This is critical. Now, let's go back to our garden metaphor. Imagine our world as a garden filled with different types of flowers. Some flowers bloom beautifully, while others fade away because they aren't cared for. If we don't start thinking critically and paying attention to all of these flowers, how can we expect the garden to thrive and stay healthy? Are we ready to be good gardeners, taking care of our knowledge and skills? Or will we let this garden grow wild and unkempt? Ladies and gentlemen, let's commit to developing our critical thinking skills for a brighter and more sustainable future. As a well-known journalist, Marisa Anita once said, as you receive new information, consider putting on your skeptical glasses first. Then, ask many questions of both others and yourself. So, sharpen those critical thinking skills and your future self will eventually thank you. Thank you.